Well, back in, what was it? It would be 2015 was the first time in Brighton Beach Memoirs. Eugene was just a little kid. He was growing up. And it was kind of like, since Eugene narrates all three of them, it's kind of like seeing the world of just a regular family through a little kid's eyes, and what it's like, you know, looking up to your older brother and watching your parents go through stuff, and watching your aunt having a crush on your cousin, which is pretty awkward. So that was a lot of fun, and I was 17 when I played that. Then last year I was 19 and I went to the Army, and that was a lot of fun as well, because we, you know, there were a lot of guys there, and we just kind of messed around and had fun, but we got work done at the same time. So that was different, because it was like, it was this little kid who was just growing up at home, and now he's suddenly thrown into the Army and he has to become a man, and it's this kind of, this shock of, oh my gosh, now I have to, you know, I have to fight for my life. So it's kind of this, he's trying to grow up at the same time, but he also doesn't really want to, but he has to. So that was a big struggle for Eugene. And then in this one, in Broadway Bound, this year, he's grown up, and he's still kind of childish, but not in a childish way. I don't know if that makes sense. But he's looking for a job. He finally has responsibilities, and he's starting to follow his responsibilities a little more, working with his brother, and he's watching his parents split up, which is rough for him, but he is a little more understanding of it at this point than he was when he was a kid. So yeah, at one point he says, I always loved my father, but I didn't like him for leaving my mother, and I feel like when he was a kid it would have been a much different reaction, but now he's older, so he kind of understands more. I'd say I'm excited for people to just see the different relationships that everyone has with each other. Pretty much almost every character besides Blanche, who's only in the one scene, has several interactions with each other character, and it's interesting to see how each character kind of changes based on who they're talking to. Like if it's Stanley, whether he's talking to his dad, who his dad raised him, and they're having this struggle, or he's talking to his mom and he's a little softer to his mom, or he's talking to his little brother, who he calls a lousy kid all the time, but he's trying to bring him up and, you know, make him be responsible, or if he's talking to his crazy grandpa, so yeah, it's interesting to see all the different relationships everyone in the family has with each other. Yeah, I found that with all three plays, there have definitely been places in the script and that connected with my life. Like I've been able to connect in many ways with Eugene the whole time. He's pretty obnoxious, which I can relate to a lot. And yeah, just the thing about him growing up. I've grown up as Eugene's grown up over the last 3 years. So yeah, it's just the relating with family and trying to find yourself and move out and get a job. It's all similar to what's going on in my life as well. Yeah, since a lot of us already have been a family in a whole play already, it was pretty easy for us to connect. So it was me, James as Stanley, Kathleen as Kate, and Mark as Jack. We all pretty much instantly connected, and then we had Blanche come in, or Kimberly come in, and Dave come in as Blanche and Grandpa Ben. And since we were already so close, we brought them in very quickly as well, because we already had a feel for each other. When audiences see Broadway Bound, I think they'll definitely feel for each character, whether in a positive or a negative way, but I think pretty much each character, someone, if not everyone, will be able to connect in some way with each character. So I think since it's a family and it's all very realistic, people will be able to connect with the characters.